Hi everyone, thank you for watching this video. My name is Viktor Škulec and I am a marketing manager of EMARK Analytics. Today it is my great pleasure to welcome here with us Angeline Corvaglia, our new data transformation lead, who just joined us a month ago. Angie will be in charge of customers' data literacy and digital transformation initiatives, and is a huge reinforcement for EMARK. As a longtime CFO of one of the premier financial institutions here in Slovakia and Czech Republic, Angie was responsible for innovations in the area of data literacy, enabling workforce with analytical powers. So much for a short introduction. Angie, good morning to Prague. How are you feeling today?
Very well, thank you.
Okay.
Happy locked down in my apartment.
Yeah, most of us. So
Yeah.
there's nothing else we can do about that, I guess, for now. So let me just provide a little bit more of the context here. Why actually all of this happened? Why this cooperation? I think a lot of people would like to ask that. You're an American and you have been living in Europe for long years now.
Mhm.
In the course of last 15 years, you have worked on or led a number of major data management and digitalization projects for financial institutions in Austria, Italy, and most recently for Czech Republic, in Czech Republic and Slovakia. Now you joined EMARK. So how this happened?
Well, I have quite an interesting past, the past that got me here to being CFO, coming to Europe. I've always followed what was my passion and not necessarily what people expected me to do. And this is exactly the reason why I moved to EMARK, away from the CFO world, financial institutions, because I have absolutely a passion for data. I have a passion for helping people learn how to use data. And I believe that EMARK, I have a 10-year experience with them as a supplier. And I really believe that's the right company to combine my passion and knowledge with their passion and knowledge that absolutely can bring a lot of value.
And we're really happy to have you on board. We've known each other for years now, as you mentioned. And we also feel that the topics such as data literacy and digital transformations are really emerging and really increasingly, companies are increasingly being interested. And it suggests it's not just a buzzwords, and so it's just becoming a huge trend right now. But
Yeah.
what exactly is data literacy? Why is it that we talk about it so much right now?
Data literacy is actually the ability to understand data and read data and be able to create some kind of value from it. Yeah. This is not only in a professional setting, this is also everywhere. Everywhere we have data, every time you have to choose an appliance, choose a new phone, you have to understand something about data. Yeah. So this is actually why this has become so important, because so many decisions we make now are based on data, and every personal decision that we have, there's a company who is selling you that product. And people are also becoming more and more online. I mentioned the lockdown. People who never imagined that they would do their grocery shopping online, they're doing it now. And this has made it even more important that companies can become digital.
So, generally speaking, uh, why do companies need data literacy and digital transformation? What is maybe the goal behind it?
Well, I think there's often a common misunderstanding that data is not about people, that it's about machines, it's about automation, and the people side of it is often forgotten. Yeah. And when companies are digitally transforming, which means somehow digitizing processes, automatizing processes, going online. They need people who make that happen. And people need to understand something about data flows and data processes. And in order to do that, they have to have certain levels of data literacy. And that's why it's important, because just buying a product or something will not make you digital. The people are the ones that will make it happen, bringing the human element together with the technology.
You have been in the game in our countries for quite some time right now, and where do we stand actually when it comes to when it comes to digital transformation or data literacy?
There's a lot of interest there, and there's a lot of activity, especially now. Companies are moving. There's in many companies some level of, for example, analytics. Most companies have some analytical tool. The challenge in these countries that I see is learning to actually properly use it in this tool. As I mentioned before, bringing in that human element, and that's where I see the biggest potential for growth right now in these countries.
If a company would like to start working on their digital transformation program, where it should start?
Well, I believe the most important thing is a vision and a clear vision. A company needs to know where they want to go. And the vision, it cannot be, I want to sell my products online. I want to have an efficient process online. It needs to be from the beginning, the lowest levels of organization to the highest levels of the organization, that I want the processes to change. Yeah, and this is my vision, so that I can sell my products online. It needs to be something that everyone in the organization can understand, and we can go towards. And after this is finished, then you can go into what the company's strengths and weaknesses are in terms of data and processes and people and technologies. But without that vision, then there's too much chance that too much money will be spent in an inefficient way. And of course, that's what it's about in business, to be efficient.
Mhm. You mentioned vision, which is really, really important. You mentioned people who are really, really important in all of this process. But how about technology?
Technology is obviously the means to get to the means, together with the data. To say data and technology are the basis, the rock of digital transformation. And of course, you have to pick the right technology. You have to make sure that it's one that fits your vision and fits your processes and people.
Mhm. And you have a lot of experiences with the Click platform. Previously as a CFO and the person who was responsible for these digital transformation programs, you work with Click extensively. So how do you maybe feel about the Click? How do you see Click in terms of data transformation?
I'll be honest, I'm not a programmer. I never have been. Yeah. I've always been working with data, and Click for me was a game changer. It was EMARK 10 years ago that came and presented Click, and it was extremely easy to understand. As in the first moment, it's a little bit difficult if you're not used to that kind of software to think differently. But once you do, it's so easy to understand. Yeah, it's like having an app on a smartphone. Yeah, that you download the app and you need just a little bit of training, and then you can somehow instinctively use it. So from my experience, Click is something that's very good for different levels of data literacy. And that's the reason why I like it, because even the ones that have very low levels are able to use it because it's very instinctive.
Mhm. Well, we have a lot of messages from our clients that people love to work with that as well, and it is a tool which is really easy to
Mhm.
adopt by the
Yeah.
workforce. And once they start to work with it, it really opens a whole new universe of the possibilities. So it's definitely a great tool, which could be one of those means you mentioned on the way to data literacy or the way to digital transformation.
Absolutely.
So, what do you think might be the biggest challenges on the way to data literacy?
I think that the biggest challenges are what related to what I was talking about before, is the concept that people will somehow get it, that they'll understand what they need to do, that if you have a vision and you give the people the money and the support to go for the vision, that many forget that it's not about money, it's also about teaching the people what's different. Because going digital is completely different way of thinking and working. And it's a huge challenge to understand that you can get there with the people that you have, but you need to give them the tools. And this for me is one of the biggest challenges I've experienced, because there's other things, obviously, money, time, capacities, everything, but the people are the ones that are most commonly overlooked in my experience.
Okay, thank you very much, Angie. Maybe any last words, any last messages?
I would like to just close with a practical example of what data literacy means and how it can be helpful away from the professional world. Is I mentioned earlier this COVID crisis, the lockdown. I've noticed with a lot of my friends and family that we are obviously now driven by data in a lot of ways, because we're constantly being bombarded with numbers of number of cases, of positive rates, number of deaths being compared to this region, this country, everything. And this is very much leading people's health and mental health. And I've seen people, my friends, who actually struggle to be able to understand what the real message in the data is, because they're not able to read it for themselves. So they just believe what comes from the politicians and from the media. And data literacy, being data literate, empowers people in this COVID situation to be able to get their own picture of what the situation is. And this is just a practical example I wanted to show. This is data literacy. It's being independent and empowered to get information about data and give your own and have your own opinion.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that. I think that's all for now. Thank you very much, Angie, for sharing your precious time with us. And I am really hoping to see you all on another of our videos. Thank you very much.
Thank you as well. Excited for the times ahead.
Yeah, all of us. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye.